again, it's been resonating so much with people, and it's just been so fascinating because like I wrote it a fair while ago, like right at the start of my Renaissance era. God, I said Renaissance era. Who is she? But you know what I mean? Like right at the start of this.
Moments.
Oh no! Please let the record show. I do not think I'm Beyonce. Okay, that's all I need to say. I'm going to clear that up.
Hello and welcome to the Process Podcast. It's where I will keep bringing people down to get lots and lots of content out of them because that's the way we do things nowadays. And with that, I have brought the wonderful Maxine down to the podcast show. I call it a show, and I guess it's a show. It counts. Because I've got Maxine down with me to say hello, Maxine.
Hello.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing very well. How are you?
I am not too bad. I'm enjoying at least at time of recording, it's a wonderfully sunny day.
Beautiful sunny day. I hope it lasts forever, but it'll probably be raining tomorrow.
No, that seems like London. Like we're still not fully summertime just yet. The way I like to start off all these podcasts is going into how we first met, and I've got a feel it's got to be a spit night or something.
I feel like it must be. This must be how you meet almost everyone you bring on your podcast.
Pretty much. Like it's like it was a fun thing. Like, oh, how did we first meet? And everyone is like, it's poetry. We met in a poetry thing. That's how we all meet.
100%. It has to be a spit night. I think it was just one of those where I'd see you behind the camera and I'd just like wave and say hello, and then eventually we exchanged names at some point. I don't remember when that was, and then eventually we started talking, and then now I'm here.
Yeah.
So poetry nights, really.
It's that vibe, especially because of how many poetry nights I am working to some
You're
degree.
everywhere.
But like, it's always that thing of I almost forget to break. Oh yeah, I can be social and make friends and stuff and do that side of it because I'm too much like I'm in business mode.
You're on
or
the
whatever.
clock. Serious business.
Nah, but we have got there. But yes, we're going to be looking into your life in poetry now. As we're going to go into our first section called Timelines.
Timelines, ooh.
I always find it fascinating, people, because like everyone has unsurprisingly, everyone has their own different stories and stuff. So like for you, how did you get into like poetry? Like were you always a creative person or just a later in life thing? How did it all start for you?
I think like poetry has been a bit of a later in life thing for me, but I've always been a writer, always been creative. I think I started out as a kid, bit of a drama kid. I think a lot of people come from that drama kid background, but also an only child and kind of, I feel like a lot of things just suddenly make sense about me now. Only child, kind of looking for attention, using her imagination, doing her own thing. I used to do a lot of writing for fun, like just writing stories. I remember I would write stories about my pets, all the things that they would get up to. I wrote a little story about The Incredibles because I was a big fan of The Incredibles movie when I was a kid. So I was almost writing like fanfic at, I don't know, 8 years old or something. That's ridiculous. But yeah, I did a lot of writing. I was mainly fiction based, but then also loved performing as well. And then so kind of trundled through life a little bit, doing dram things and everything, and then reached a point where I got my regular job and was doing regular things. And then I was just kind of realizing there was this void in my life where I just really wanted to find something, find a community, hang out with people and share things. So I started going to like I almost view my poetry journey as I've had a bit of a renaissance, as I've been calling it. Kind of from 2024 is when I started to really find this community we're in now, with like all the wonderful people that we know. I've rambled and really not given a clear picture of the timeline at all. But basically, drama kid timeline, dram, lonely, searching for community, and needing to express and create, and then just finding the space to do that.
No, nice. And like with that for you, like in the actual logistics of it, how did you physically find poetry nights? Like I know some people, like I had Sarfak on, and Sarfak literally mentioned he went on Eventbrite and searched for poetry nights on Eventbrite. Some people obviously,
what a legend. Like
some people obviously know poetry from like seeing it on YouTube and looking around for it. But how did you physically find like nights to get to?
It all started, I think about this a lot, I almost view everything as almost a butterfly effect thing, which kind of freaks me out when you think about it too much, of how one decision kind of has led to this.
How close you were to missing out on all this.
Yes, like the sliding doors moment. But it all started back in 2015 when I auditioned for National Youth Theatre. I got into National Youth Theatre and I met a bunch of friends who I'm still friends with to this day. And they set up a night, they used to run a night called Gutter Street, which was...
That sounds familiar.
Yes, they're not doing it anymore, but it was at the Green Note in Camden.
That's why it sounds familiar.
Yeah. So it was like they ran it for, I think, a good 5 years. And it was kind of like a... they'd have poetry, they'd have music, they'd have comedy. They'd kind of have like a bit of everything and a bit of an open mic. And that's where I'd sort of go and see a lot of things. And then one day at one of those nights, I met Danny Mash. And then a year later, we met again. Like, so there was then a year break. Then we went to another Gutter Street, met again. And this was just after he set up Spit Nights. And Gutter Street was kind of winding down. And I said, oh no, I need to find a new open mic to go to. Because I was literally only going to Gutter Street. I wasn't really part of the community, the poetry community at all. I was just kind of going to my friend's night and hanging out with them. And so Danny said, well, come on down, come see what Spit Night is all about. And I did. And then I met a bunch of wonderful people and they were like, have you heard of this night? Have you heard of this night? You should go to this night. And so it was from there that I just fell into this life-changing whirlwind community that I cherish so much. So people, basically, people telling me to go to things and me going, yeah, all right.
No, that's the vibe. But like looking at things now, looking at your present day, so to speak, like where would you say you are at the moment with your creativeness and poetry? Like, what are we doing at the moment?
Oh, it's my lifeblood. it's kind of all I'm thinking about all the time. Like it's taken over my life in the best way. It's changed my life, like this journey. I think because I've found it kind of a bit later in life, you know, I'm not eligible for the Roundhouse Poetry Slam.
Yeah.
Boo hiss. It's kind of been carving out that sense of connection and creativity and realizing how important that is for me in my life and what I was missing. I was missing something and I didn't even know I was missing something. So it's been like a reawakening. That's why I've been calling it almost like a poetry renaissance for me, because it's been a full-on rebirth of like my creative rebirth, and tapping into a side of myself that I think I hadn't realized was dying.
No.
Oh no, that sounds a bit bleak.
No, it's one of the things of like, I always have to kind of, not always, but I often think of like how lucky I am in that I stumbled into poetry when I was 13 years old. So like poetry has been a large part of my life for the better part of 21 years. And it's just like, I didn't even have to worry about looking for it, because when I was roughly speaking at the age to start properly cementing hobbies, poetry was already there. So I got very lucky with that and finding the communities straight away, which also then led to also calling what it is, having so many good like networking connection things of like all these poets now that are like established names, such as like, oh yeah, they're my friend, like I don't just message them and it's fine.
Oh, that guy? Yeah, he was around for dinner the other night.
Kind of thing. But like, I guess then for you as well, like how do you say your writing has changed over the years? Like, are you writing about anything now that you didn't think you'd even touch on before?
Yeah, I feel more in tune with myself lately. I think this has been like a huge... I love how you can look back over your writing and see the different areas of your life that you were in, and kind of exploring. I feel like I'm exploring everything at the moment. I just want to throw myself into everything and experiment and make mistakes and try. I'm like a kid in a candy shop at the moment, and it's actually quite overwhelming because I only have like a limited amount of time, and I just want to like stuff my face with everything. So I feel like my relationship with writing, I mean, it has its ups and downs, because sometimes I think as you kind of grow in the poetry scene, you kind of maybe feel like you can experiment a little bit less. You know, you maybe have like maybe think that you're being perceived in a certain way and people expect certain things from you. And like I have a bunch of sad poetry that's kind of never seen the light of day. Which for many reasons, and I don't know if it ever will, maybe it will, but I think it's just kind of recognizing with my writing that there's things that that I will want to share. And this is a very obvious thing, things that I'll want to share and things that will maybe just be for my own growth, that will just kind of sit neatly in my book.
I'd also
another
imagine now
time.
that you're doing like more of the like featuring stuff, and especially I've seen obviously you did some like help supporting like Caitlin O'Ryan, etc. Like, you've been doing some more feature gigs there, and part of it's a bit like I can try out new stuff, but like I'm being paid and you see the hits because that's what people are paying
They
me
need
for.
to see the bangers,
Yeah.
you know. They want it. It's like if you go to a gig and they don't play their hit song.
Yeah.
And I think, but the wonderful thing about doing a set is being able to. I love to try bring something new every time.
Yeah.
If I can, even if it's like really. I supported Sam Brown the other day, and I did the bangers, and then I whipped out my phone and read a couple of brand new ones, which was just so rare for me because normally I feel like if it's brand new, I would have at least like practiced it a little bit, you know, done the thing. But this was like written on the train there, which felt quite daring for me.
Yeah.
Felt so rough around the edges, but it keeps it fresh. You know, you got to keep it fresh, I guess. And yeah, I think getting rid of your own sense of expectation of what your writing needs to be is really helpful, and just kind of letting it be what it is, whether it's where you are or what you're responding to or what you feel in that moment. And just letting it be and letting it breathe has been good.
Well, yeah, we'll probably go into the writing process a little bit later on in this podcast. I'm saying it now. I'm probably going to go on different tangents and not touch back, not circle
We're
back
just going to yap, circle back. Oh my God.
That thing, like, I'm saying it now. I'm setting myself up that we can do that, and then I'm going to edit it down like over the weekend tomorrow or whatever, and I'm going to be like, you said that, and you never went. Like, there's definitely a couple of podcasts.
We need to write it down.
No, I don't edit these podcasts too much. And there's definitely been a few podcasts I watch over and it's like, oh, and then come back to that. It's like, you never did, Tyrone. You let that go.
No.
But sticking with the timeline section of it all, obviously, now that you've been doing some more featuring and getting more established in the scene now, like, are you someone that has like goals and plans for the future with your writing and creative stuff, or is it more just like, let's see what the hell happens kind of thing?
I think it's a bit of both. I think it's really good to have like a sense of, for me, I like to have a sense of where I'd like to be, but equally a sense of freedom to kind of let life happen and see where it goes. Because if you spoke to me a year ago, I would never have dreamed that I would be kind of doing the things that I'm doing right now. Like, it would have been a completely foreign idea to me and felt completely out of reach. So I think it's nice to have a sense of direction and a sense of what you'd like to do, well, even if you just want to enjoy it, you know. It's obviously nice to have a little bit of money from it as well.
Yes.
Which will be nice to fund all the fun stuff. But yeah, I think I do have goals and ambitions, but equally I am happy to just let that guide me and then see what comes. I think the most important thing for me is the fun and the play and the joy. And I think that just comes so much from having been bereft with, you know, not having poetry or creativity in my life for so long. I really just cherish it so much, and I don't want it to ever feel too much like a stress, you know, like beyond just doing something that you love. But yeah, I like to have fun and I like to play, and yeah.
I say it a few times, especially when it comes to like work-based things, and even though I'm working kind of in the poetry world, I've always said to myself and like people, like, I don't want to have to write a poem to pay my rent kind of thing. I don't want that kind of level of pressure of the poetry is something I need to do, because I think that changes the creativity. Like, obviously want to make some money out of it, that'd be lovely and nice and all that kind of thing. I'd love to get some money from my art, but the pressure to have it be everything and changes what you do creatively. It
must do. Yeah. I mean, I don't know what that's like. Maybe one day I'd love to find out. But yeah, I think it's all about just happiness, as cheesy as it sounds, fulfillment, and just feeling, I think fulfillment in many areas of your life, like whether it's your creativity, just your overall living conditions, your overall friendships. Yeah. Getting deep now.
Well, I guess almost like to wrap this section up by putting you on the spot a little bit. Obviously, you've had some you've been doing some great things already, kind of thing. But like, do you have like pie in the sky? Kind of, I would love to perform this in this place in these stages or go to these cities, kind of thing.
Everywhere.
Or as well as like, as is definitely the phase now. I say phase, it's always been the phase, but like, book deal ?
I mean, who doesn't? To answer your question, Tyrone, I want to perform everywhere. And of course I want to get books out. Like, that's without a doubt, that would be the dream. Yeah. Yes, nice. Absolutely. I think that like I've really fallen in love more and more with doing shows. I think when I first started out, it was obviously what I want to do, and I enjoy it. But I've found that I'm, touch wood, there's no wood around.
Close enough.
Like I'm feeling way more comfortable performing shows and having way more fun and playing a bit more and just connecting to the audiences. And it feels, I think as a poet, sometimes, especially when you're starting out, it feels so rare to be able to perform frequently. Like you're kind of doing these open mics, you're hoping and praying that your name comes out the hat, you get your 4 minutes and you kind of do your 4-minute set, and then you go and you go, oh my God. But kind of having the opportunity to do these longer sets now and really craft like a bit of a show or a performance is been so much fun, and something I definitely want to do more of in different venues, in front of different people, and just... it all comes down to the people for me, whether it's the people in the scene or the people you're sharing with and connecting with. So I want to do more of that.
Or does the drama kid in you want to do the one person show, the full on hour-long theatre kind of thing?
Oh, yeah. Do you know what? I think it's always good to try new things and have ambition. And if something makes you feel uncomfortable or you feel like you're shying away from it, but part of you knows you still want to do it, you should do it. You know, even if you're terrified, embrace the fear and do it anyway. I think Kofi said he was on this podcast and he said he name dropped me a little bit, which is, I can't wait to watch that episode. But apparently one day I said to him before a show when he was a bit nervous, and he's probably already said this, so I'm saying it again. But I said to him, like, remember, this is what you want to do. Like all the mixed emotions, all the fear, like the stress, the kind of creativity is such a journey and it's such an up and down thing and it's tied to so much within you. And it can come with a lot, but kind of just, if this is what you want to do, just embrace that as much as possible and ride it out. And yeah.
Nice. Well, on that lovely note, we're going to end the timeline section here.
I feel like I did a piss poor job of explaining how I got here.
No, you're good. Again, we're going to go now into our Let's Talk About section where this is going to be the tangents ahoy and all that kind of
I feel
vibes.
like I'm warmed up for this now.
No, you're good. I think for the Let's Talk About section, I want to definitely circle back to the writing process at some point, but what I definitely want to talk to you about, because it was a bit insane. Hello, Miss Viral Girl. So, for people who haven't seen, you came down to One Night Slam, you completely walked the competition, you won the slam there, and then when the video went online, we are on now over 13 million views, I want to think.
I think so, yeah.
Firstly, just in general, how does it feel to know that your poetry reached that many people from so many different walks of life?
Oh, it's been mad, Tyrone. What a time. What a time. Like again, butterfly moment. I think about this so much. Like I spend so much time. Because I came down, it was the One Night Slam in November.
Yeah, because you came down to the October
I came down
one
to the October one.
Yeah.
But I came down because I actually missed out on buying like a slam ticket that day. I remember I was on a walk with a friend and I'd set a reminder on my phone to get a ticket, but I didn't hear it because I was on this walk with my friend. I was like, oh my God, I haven't got a slam ticket. Even though you say there's some on the night, which there always are, but I got in my head about it. So I was like, okay, no, it's fine. I'll go to the night and go down to the night anyway to like vibe check it. Which is so I came and I vibe checked and I saw Mind Stay and it was great. You know, I had a lovely time. And I was like, cool, I'm going to come back in November. And in between that time, I wrote this poem, which then went viral. And so I think about that a lot in terms of like, if I'd done the one in October, I didn't have that poem. Yeah. But I remember so clearly, this is so funny because it was my first ever slam. Yeah. I'd never done a slam before. It was you guys have such a wonderful night there. Thank you. It was so like wholesome and lovely. It was a really safe space, but I'd never done a slam. And I did my first poem, and one of the tables that were judging actually really pissed me off.
Good, bring it.
I did my first poem, and they scored me, and like I was just kind of like, and I'm not, I don't think I have that big an ego, but everyone does to a certain. This is my space. I've got a microphone. I'm going to say what I want, and they scored me, and I was like, okay, no, that's fine. That's your perspective. That's your opinion. But watch me next time. Like that's kind of like, I was kind of like, no, that's fine. I respect it. It's not that deep. It's not, I wasn't like going in to win. Yeah. But I was more just like, oh, no. Okay.
I will say that is one of I feel like I fall in that level of healthy competition thing of like, I will see the scores. It's not that they're wrong. It's that, I'm going to have to prove you better next time. That's definitely a vibe of like,
exactly.
I'm going to show, okay.
You think that's what I got?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
But also I think they were there supporting their friend who was also performing. So I was like, okay, no, they're a little bit biased and that just happens. Anyway, so I was like, right, okay, here we go. But I was sitting in the chair before I got to perform and I was like, oh, do I do this new poem? Because I was like, I hadn't ever performed that poem in that form before. And I was like, oh, do I just fall back on one of the ones that I've know and love? And I was like, no, just do this poem, have fun, enjoy it, enjoy your time, and then just have a nice time. Went up, did the poem, you recorded it beautifully, had a lovely time, obviously, happened to win that night, which was just the cherry on top of a gorgeous night. Like it could have been, it was such a strong, beautiful night. And then so I had the wonderful videos that you'd captured so beautifully. And I have a little fun fact for you, which is quite funny. So as a lot of people are like, well, I sometimes struggle to post videos on social media in the sense of like, it's quite, you can be quite critical, but that's why I love posting a live performance video, because you can just go, right, this is the performance.
This is what happened.
This is what happened. Do it, like, rather than doing a video yourself and doing takes. But obviously I've performed a fair amount at Spit Nights, so I had like a lot of content from Spit, and I was feeling like my page was like just purely becoming me performing at Spit Night. So I was like, right, okay, let me just post this video of me at One Night Slam just to show that I've performed at other venues. Like, just post it, get it out the way before I post this other video that I had from Spit Nights.
Honestly, I think like I've obviously got my creative page as well now.
Yeah.
And I'm very aware that a lot of the things I get tagged in obviously are Spit-based things. It's like I do other creative things as well. So it is that I definitely understand that thought process of like, I do other things. I need to just prove that.
But I didn't even... So that's why I find it so funny, because I kind of posted that video to get it out the way.
No, no, it's a vibe. That's a vibe.
I just threw it out there to the world, like, here you go. And then the world was like, okay.
Yeah.
And that has been, I mean, life-changing in like in a small way, like a small life-changing thing. I think it was just, I never imagined it happening. I never imagined it happening to me. And it's been the most wonderful, affirming thing. Because I posted it. I don't have Instagram notifications turned on my phone, which I really recommend. Like I don't have, like, nothing comes through to my home screen. Like you have to like go into the app to see. Posted it, put my phone down, didn't think a thing. Woke up the next morning, opened my phone. I was like, what the fuck is happening? Yeah. And then it just kind of snowballed from there, and it's been viewed by a lot of people, and a lot of people love it. And I feel really honoured, I think. Like, I feel it's all down to luck, you know, the algorithm gods and whatever they choose to do. Like, it's luck was on my side that day, and it's been a wonder ever since.
Nice. And like, obviously with doing Spit stuff, it's not like you haven't had things that people have watched and viewed, etc. Spit have been very good at getting views and whatnot, but nevertheless, given the size this went to, like, how do you, like, obviously you mentioned Instagram notifications and stuff, but like, just in general, how do you deal with that many people watching and commenting, etc., and just being perceived that much, if you will?
God, being perceived. But this is like, I had this whole thing because my Instagram account was private, like, since May of 2025 did I kind of take it off private, like, because I had this whole thing about being perceived. I only started posting poetry videos, like, it's been just about almost a year, obviously, since I went off private, because I had this whole thing about being perceived, and I just, one day, I don't know what it was, I just went, fuck it. I'm going to be perceived, like, this is, perceive me how you want. But I also think it's very easy for me to say, because currently, touch wood, I am on the right side of the internet. Like, the internet is being quite kind to me. There's, like, anyone who gives, like, a dickhead comment is clearly just being a dickhead, you know, and no one's really said anything yet, touch wood, that has actually hit something close to home yet.
Obviously, because they're getting notifications of it as well. I saw, at least, again,
of course, yeah.
I don't see all the comments, especially because I've got a few from, again, I get a lot of notifications on my phone, and I haven't turned them off, if only because I get too many work notifications from it that I have to kind of be aware of, like, but this could be an actual work thing. But I remember I saw one that stuck with me on there, which is that level of, I can't even, it's not even one to take personally because it seems so stupid, of like, I think someone's comment was like, but what if a murderer saw this? And,
yes. What if it's like, what if the person's like a horrible person?
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, come on.
Exactly.
It's giving like that internet thing where it's like, what's that thing that they say of like, what if I don't like the bean soup thing?
Oh, no, yes, I know what you mean. I know exactly what you mean, yes.
It's kind of like, here's a bean soup recipe. Okay, well, what if I don't like beans? Well, then it's not for you.
Yes.
You know, scroll on. But it's like, well, obviously, yeah. It's someone just being so stupid.
No, but yeah, like, I think, because this is now I will do the circling back as well though, but like I think what works well about, especially about a lot of your stuff, and we kind of touched on it a little bit in the other section, is like I think there's a lot of nice things you were saying, and like it's really accessible in that kind of a way, and like not that you can't or shouldn't do sad poetry, but there's so much sad poetry that feels potentially divisive, etc. Or like, for as much I love all the things that Sam Brown is doing, because he's also challenging the manosphere, it brings about some conflict, etc. Whereas a lot of your stuff, without putting anything down, I think is so wholesome in its nature. How much of that is a conscious choice on your end, or how much of that that's just what I write about? That's just what I do.
I think it's very conscious in the sense, like, I don't go, right, I'm going to write a nice poem. I kind of alchemize a lot of my pain and a lot of my fear and a lot of my hurt, and there is so much pain and hurt in the world, and like there is pain and hurt in poetry, and sometimes that is, you know, what people need, and people can really respond to that. I think I would like audiences to feel uplifted. I think leave them with a sense of uplift for me, if I can. But then sometimes if I'm writing a poem and it doesn't want to do that, then it doesn't want to do that.
Yeah.
Like, and I think that's the wonderful thing about, as you're starting to craft a set or a book or a thing, you can have space for all of these kind of difficult and heavier feelings. And it's like, yeah, I think for me it's because there is so much, I write with light because there is so much dark, and there is so much darkness in me, and there's so much darkness in everyone, that I think what makes me feel better is that a little bit of good. And yeah, I think I wrote that poem. I wrote I Hope You Make It, the one that went viral, almost as to try challenge myself, because I wanted to respond to the weight of the world in a way that's just what came out.
Yeah.
Like, so this is the thing, it's conscious, but then it's not, you know, like this is just kind of where I think I naturally sit there, but that's not always entirely true. It depends on the day, you know, everyone I get sad sometimes too, but
No, it's one of the ones where I know, especially when I was younger at least, I was already aware of things of like people are writing a lot about their traumas and whatnot, and like fully valid. And also I'm fortunate, I don't want to say not I've suffered any trauma, especially in the last 5-6 years, but like, especially when I started, it's like I'd lived with a really loving mum and I had a really fine childhood kind of thing, and like, yes, the world sucked, but I was 13 and didn't notice to some degree. So like, when I first started writing, I think there was definitely a part of like, well, everyone else has got the trauma stuff covered, I'm going to write about the other stuff then if you've got that. So I think I know at least there was some intention in that. But like for you then, like, to almost expand this as well, would you say you have a writing process? Does it change from poem to poem? Especially because I know that obviously a couple of times it's spit, you've done a couple of poems. Like you did the poem about the guy at the Coldplay concert kind of thing. But like that thing of like taking real world things, and then obviously the Katy Perry poem was taking about real world things. Like, do you have like a set writing process, or does it change poem to poem?
I definitely think it can change poem to poem, but one of the things with me is that poems often have to brew. Like they're kind of like a cup of tea for me. Like they have to brew for a bit to get stronger. Like I'm very jealous of all the poets and creatives who can go write a poem in 30 seconds, perform it, and it's a banger. Do you know what I mean? Like, and with maybe a minor bit of editing. Yeah. Often it comes down to a feeling or a concept or a line, and then kind of playing and drawing and expanding around that. I love responding to moments, like with the Katy Perry thing. I wish I could do more of that. Yeah. But I also think pop culture is shifting in the sense that we're actually not all aware of the same moments anymore. Yes. Or the internet moves so fast.
Internet moves so fast. There's so many different corners and pockets of it that actually it's easy to miss
things. And like people are like, I wouldn't feel confident performing in a room that everyone would get the reference. Like, you know, and I feel like the Katy Perry thing, Katy Perry going to space, was one of the last bits where everyone was like, what the fuck is going on? But yeah, I think it's very much, I love to let things brew and sit, and they often take a little bit of a time for me to feel happy with them, which is why performing the poem that went viral, it's so funny because that was the first time I'd ever done it. And I'm like, okay, well, I guess that's it now because I can't change it now. Like, that's done.
Yeah.
Which is quite nice. It was quite freeing. But yeah, just kind of trying to write every day, being okay with stuff being shit, and sitting in the block a bit, I think, and just enjoying it. I think it's very easy to get in your head as a creative. It's very, very easy. Just trying to not do that.
Well, like I guess on your writing process as well now, like obviously a lot of this stuff has been with like something like Spit and like the other Nights in Mind to some degree. It's like how much of it for you is knowing I'm writing because I'm going to perform this poem versus I'm writing just because I want to write, or this is not going to see the light of day, but I just need to get something out.
Oh, there's always like a little bit of tension then. I feel like you have to be so careful. And as you like kind of grow as a creative, that you're not writing purely because it's such a balance. You're balancing it. Like you're writing for an audience, but you're also writing for, it needs to be authentic. You know, you can't be thinking like, oh my God, I'm going to get clicks on this line. You know, it needs to, I feel like you can tell if someone's written something because they think it's going to be a crowd pleaser versus someone's written something that they want to share that really resonates. I think it's a balance. I feel like I've really tapped into poetry as using it as a way to kind of process my life. And that's been a wonderful thing. And so because of that, there's so many things. My poetry book sometimes reads like a fucking diary, journal entry. But then kind of latching on to like a concept or a theme that I know I would love to perform is really nice. And also, you know, like thinking about page poetry now too, if I want to do a book, having fun to play with that a bit. So I would say there's many things to write, and it brings me back to my eternal thing of like freaking out because how much time can I give? I want to enjoy it all. But yes, so I think it's a balance between the things that will never see the light of day, which you should have. Like even if you're, you know, that you need to write shit poems, otherwise you're never going to get the good ones. And then when you die, someone will go through all of your notebooks, find all of it, publish it, and make money off your estate.
No.
So
I mean, I'm not quite trying to get ahead of that, but it's like I'm working on my third book at the moment. And one of the things, like, because it is the third book and therefore I'm seeing it at some level as a trilogy, there's a little part of me, I've actively got so far in it a second, which is like, these are the poems I haven't published yet.
Yeah.
And part of me is like, they're not good, but like some of them are like old open mic poems I used to do back in the day, but part of this, that's part of me of like, they were a part of me, and I don't think they work best in book form, but I'd feel bad if they weren't ever published. So
you could put them in a section in the book being like you know, you can explain what they are.
Like that's kind of what I'm trying to do, of like, you know, I almost a bit like, I know these aren't the best poems, but these are still a part of me. But like, I guess with that for you, like obviously looking at like when you perform this stuff, like how much do they change from like open micing to features and whatnot? How much does a poem change over the months and years of like?
I think about this kind of, I think this is what you meant, but we're going to talk about this anyway. Like your relationship with your own poetry changing the more you do it, and like how you can either be distant or closer to it depending on where you are. Like the more you do a poem, the less it is maybe yours, and that's not a bad thing. But like if it become, you know, it kind of takes on this life of its own. But like also as your own writing style and performance style changes, it might, like I've sometimes found it. I was actually really surprised. I did an old poem. The first poem I wrote in my Renaissance era was the one about losing friends, and it was the first one I performed. I performed it at Spit Nights back in February last year, 2025, and I never performed it again until I went up to Birmingham to do Piece of Work.
Nice.
And I was like kind of going, what poems am I going to do? And I was like, oh, let me just pull this one out, just do it to see how it is. And I performed it, and I was like, yeah, okay, that was fine. It felt weird to do because my writing style, I feel, is like shifted quite a lot since then. Like, but then it was, again, it's been resonating so much with people, and it's just been so fascinating because like I wrote it a fair while ago, like right at the start of my Renaissance era. God, Renaissance era. Who is she? But you know what I mean? Like right at the start of this. Moments. Oh no! Please let the record show. I do not think I'm Beyonce. Okay, that's all I need to say. I'm going to clear that up.
I'm already telling you now that is exactly how we're starting the podcast. Just that little clip. Start with that.
I am not the Beyonce of poetry. Please, I'm going to get cancelled. I always knew I was going to be cancelled for something, and it's going to be this. You're going to have people being like, oh my God, who the fuck does she think she is? This diva. Anyway, so yes, I performed this poem, which was the first one I wrote. And again, I felt like so much had changed, but then it's really resonated with people. And I've actually started connecting with it again. Like I kind of lost it and then I've come back to it now. So kind of just enjoying, I feel really lucky to be able to have that, to be like, oh my God, I'm having this journey with my own poetry.
It was like, especially end of last year going into this year when I was doing some open mic stuff, it just admittedly just before book stuff was starting to happen properly, I was definitely going through a phase of open mics of like, the producer in me knows that one of the best ways to promote my night is to go to other open mic nights, and with that as
He's
well,
a businessman.
to then have to get on the open mic and do a poem of like, I can't just be at a night and try and promote my night. I want to say a poem and do it, and I'm tired of all the poems I constantly do.
Yes.
But I've got 2 books of poetry, so I have a lot of poems.
Yeah.
So let's just bring out some of the old poems again. Like, you do a couple of them, and part of it is like, oh yeah, a lot of people on the scene haven't seen me 10 years ago, so they don't know these poems.
No.
And 2's like, oh yeah, this one's good.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I think that's actually one of my favourite parts. Like, I can't wait for that to happen more. Like, I currently hate one of my poems at the moment. Like, I hate them, but it was a staple. I'm not going to name it. I know you want to know. I'm not going to name it. But I feel like eventually I'll circle around to it again and be like, oh yeah, this is all right, you know? And I think that's a really fun part of it. It's part of the journey. It's like, yeah, I just feel so lucky to be able to do that. And I love hearing about people's their relationships with it, and like how it seems to be something that everyone kind of goes through.
For sure. Like, I think, like, not the flip side, but the other side of that for me as well, or another part of it, I should say, for me as well, is that, especially when I was doing the book, it's when it was most apparent of like, there were poems that I've memorized wrong.
Yes!
And that is now just the version I know. And I looked at the original text and I'm like, I've missed a stanza this whole time.
Oops.
And that stanza's good.
Well, clearly, you know, the inner editor in you was like, nah,
yeah,
we don't
like,
need it.
It's that kind of thing, or sometimes of like, I jokingly view it as like, well, this is the single version, this is the album version. They're 2 separate versions kind of thing. But
I like that a lot.
It's fully that thing of like, oh no, this is just a different poem now because I've just remembered it differently and changed the wording of it. And sometimes some of it is, and I was talking to Francis about this on the podcast of like, there's some things that I know my mouth can't say, but I know is a better sentence written down kind of thing. So some of it is almost not intentional, but a bit of like, I can't perform that properly. The words make sense. The way I talk, the speed I talk, etc. doesn't sound right in my mouth. So I've had to learn it a different way. And some of it is fully, no, I just learned Mr. Stanza.
I just fucked it up.
Memorized it wrong.
Yeah.
No one's ever called it out. No one said that feels like a story part's missing.
Well, you're the artist. You know, you can do what you want.
But there are definitely moments like that have happened. And like, also just in general, things of like, I forgot that I've edited the poem at some stage. And then when you look at the original poem I have written down, it's like, oh, I see what I was doing there, but I have moved on.
Yeah, we could do something. I like that. I like what you say about a single version versus an album version. I think that's a smart way of viewing it.
No,
it's your art. You can do what you want.
Or like, I mean, especially with the book side of it, there's definitely a vibe of, I'm going to have a version that's written down and cannot be changed. But when I'm performing, the world keeps changing, and especially, and I assume similar to some of your ones, like, given I'm using some references in this, that reference could get old to the point where I have to change it for something else, or is there something else I can substitute in for it?
I mean, people edit Shakespeare plays.
Yeah.
You know? It's constantly, just because it's written down doesn't mean it's set in stone.
Well, like, I guess, like, to almost wrap up this section for you now, like, we've obviously talking a lot about the writing side of it, but for you, for the performing side, like, has your performance changed much, and like, how much in general are you thinking over your performance of, like, not, I'm assuming not quite in a, when I say this line, I'll do this movement kind of thing, but how conscious are you of how you move and perform on stage?
Oh yeah, it's changed a lot. I've really started to, I feel like, well, you're talking to me after I've come off the back of a couple of good shows. So I'm in, like, you know, who knows, it might all change, but like, I've started to feel so much more present on stage, which is a gift. And I just feel so, because it used to be that, you know, early on I'd get on stage and it would kind of go in a blur.
Yeah.
And then I'd be like, oh my God, what did I say? What actually happened? And then I'd watch your wonderful videos back and I'd be like, okay, that wasn't as bad. Like it was okay. But now what I feel is happening is I feel so much more intentional on stage and I feel so much more present, which means I can have so much more fun and also be aware of what my fucking hands are doing, which I still haven't mastered and I probably never will. But these hands love to do things on stage. That sounds weird. No. But they just, I'm very gesticulate. But I think feeling so much more present on stage has been such a wonderful discovery for me, and so much fun and just so magical. Like I love to feel like it's fun, you know, rather than, and like sometimes you can still be a bit, nerves keep you alive or like whatever. It's not saying that I don't necessarily get nervous. I get excited and I get full of beans. But I love, I think I feel a lot more present and a lot more connected. And so the intention there is to just, I want to enjoy it so that the audience will enjoy it. You know, if I feel like I'm safe and I'm having a good time, the audience will feel safe and they will hopefully have a good time. And I'll, you know, craft a good set, which is what it's all about. I just want the audience to feel, I'd love for them to enjoy it, you know, or I'd love for them to have an opinion. I think that's the main thing. Like if they hate me, that's fine too, because that just means I've elicited some sort of a response. You know, if they go, oh, I hate her. Who did she think she was? She was so silly. She was so weird.
One of my favourite moments ever in a poetry thing, it was at a work talent show we were doing like 8-9 years ago, and one of the guys there booed when I mentioned I'm a Tottenham fan, and it's that thing of like, you're listening, I don't give a shit, you're listening, and like this is not a booing your work is bad, this is a you're
are engaged
with,
you're here. And I think that's the main thing is feeling like people have an opinion on it, whether they hate it or they love it or whatever.
Nice. Well, like, again, to properly wrap the section up now, like, I think one of the things I've definitely got to say about your performance style and just in general is that I think you are very natural on stage, and I think one of the moments, like, things that I weirdly personally look for is, like, poems and stuff are one part, but there's also the bits in between poems and how you can hold yourself on stage goes a long way. And I love that at Kofi's Heart of the Community one, how you, again, crowd cheers as football things happen.
Oh, what a story.
But like you being able to roll with it and not be thrown off with just like thing, oh no, you're good at this thing, you know what you're doing, you're fine here. And like, is it the drama background? Is it just you as a person? Like, is that how...
I think it evolved from just seeing wonderful how amazing other poets are at doing it. Because I think for me, it's the hardest bit is the bit in between poems, right? Like, because you can practice the poem the whole time, but your set is made or broken on, I feel, how you connect with the audience in between poetry and how you string it all together. And that the Heart of the Community thing was so funny. Basically, I was about to start my viral poem, the hit sensation, the closing of the session, the moment everybody was waiting for. And it obviously starts out quite like, you know, this is how you start a poem. And then the crowd just downstairs just bursts into huge cheers and fanfare because some stupid football team, sorry for all the football fans, whatever, scored. And I remember I was doing this poem and I remember hearing it and like, the thoughts just ran through my brain of like, if I can hear this, everyone else can hear this. And everyone's probably thinking, oh, this is really embarrassing for her. What is she going to do? Yeah. And just, I think I even made a joke. Yeah. I think I was actually even a bit funny, which I was so, I was in a flow state. I think, but that's just come from being on stage and just doing it and just watching people do it and then getting up there and bombing sometimes and having those bad moments, having those moments where you come off stage and you go, what the fuck did I say? I said nothing. It was stupid. I don't know. This is all the things that go on in my head. No fair. But kind of just doing it more and more. You just have to do it. You just have to keep doing it, I think, even if you feel like it's bad.
Well, on that we're going to end our Let's Talk About section here and now go into our unpredictable section, which is called Slow Fire Questions.
Oh, shit.
For our slow fire questions, back in the day, I used to do a thing called quick fire questions where I have a list of 100 questions and would ask people to answer as many as they could in 3 minutes. And it was the fun of answering questions under pressure and the time limit, etc. fun answers, all that stuff.
Okay.
For slow fire questions, we're going to pick 5 at random and give them the proper time to answer them. And for context, some of these are poetry related, some of these are just random questions. None of these I'd want to say are cancelable. We haven't got there yet, but let's see what But yeah, so can you start off by giving me a random number in between 1 and 100, please?
Well, 16, because it's my birthday number.
Cool. Then, what is your favourite book?
Fuck. Okay, I would say my favourite book is Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier, which it's like an early 1900s Gothic, and I hate old-fashioned books. I studied English at uni, and so you'd think, I'd love them. I hate them. I find them such a chore. I find them laborious, and I don't enjoy. I tried to read Wuthering Heights, which I've actually never read.
Fair.
Couldn't get my head into it. I just couldn't. So I went into this book because so many people had told me, been like, "Oh, Rebecca, you have to read Rebecca." And I was like, and I thought it was going to be like this old-fashioned. Oh my God, was I hooked? I have never. I think it's about this unnamed protagonist. Yeah. Who marries an older man whose wife has died, and his ex-wife is called Rebecca. His wife, so Rebecca is like, she's dead, but the book's called after her. She just haunts this entire narrative. She goes to this house in Manderley, and there's like there's Mrs. Danvers. There's mystery, there's jealousy, there's like this whole. I mean, what woman hasn't felt like they're stepping? The feeling of stepping into another woman's shoes. Oh, I don't know. Just read Rebecca. It's really good. And it's got a beautiful cover as well. Nice.
It's like, you much of a book person?
I do. I'm in a bit of a reading slump at the moment, but I'm a big book girly. I read a lot when I was, only child. I was basically reading, writing, or playing Pokemon.
Fair.
That was kind of my bag. So yeah, I read a lot. I would say Rebecca is one of my favourite books. I read a lot of fantasy books as well as a kid, but yeah. Rebecca, favourite book. Is it flawed? Maybe, but so's everything.
Yeah. Perfect.
I had a good time.
Another number, please.
Oh, dealer's choice.
No, I know the question, so that's not helpful.
22.
Because that's my favourite number. That's my birthday
Oh,
wow. Do you have a nickname?
Max.
Like, were you ever tempted to do like a stage name kind of thing, or was it just like...
I didn't know whether to use my surname for a bit, like mainly because I was worried about people not being able to pronounce it, which sometimes people do get wrong, and it actually annoys me quite a lot. But yeah, I didn't know whether, which is a silly thing. Like, people can learn how to pronounce names. It's not even that hard. Yeah, Max. People did. Yeah, Max. I don't really like Maxie that much, but I don't mind it. My family kind of calls me Maxie. But yeah, Max is a good one. No stage name.
No, fair. Like, it's always one of the... It's always weird, especially poetry people. Like, there are some people I will full name a lot of the time.
Danny Mash is always Danny Mash to me. Sam Brown is always Sam Brown.
Yeah. But then some people, it's like, I will never mention your last name. And not because I don't want to. It's just like, no, you like... Yeah. And obviously some of it helps, and like, I don't know many other Maxines on the scene, to be fair. So it's like, well, you're Maxine. You are the one.
I'm the one.
But...
Let's keep it that way.
There was another Tyrone at a poetry night like 6-7 years ago, and I was a bit like, motherfucker.
Right, I don't know what I get weirdly possessive about my name as well. I'm kind of like, I'm Maxine. It's my name.
Yeah.
Hello?
I think especially because like Tyrone's not the most common of names. It's a bit like, okay.
No.
Okay, we're doing this.
I guess we're fighting. It's the Spider-Man meme.
Another number, please.
95.
Okay, then we are going for, what superpower would you want?
Teleportation, so long as all my clothes came with me.
Important caveat.
And everything I was holding, like everything on my person, if I was holding something, that would come with me.
Important caveats to have.
Because then I could, I feel, because have you ever read The Time Traveler's Wife?
No, but I know of enough different teleportation things and whatnot that occasionally they put limitations and
so
weird.
He loses all his clothes and everything. So like, who would want that? But if you could carry all your stuff with you, then you could just travel for free. You could go to Japan and have like a matcha and then pop back.
Weird that I have to go to this reference here, but I remember like in the film Looper, which is not that good.
I think I saw that years ago.
Yeah, this is like an early 2000s film, but it was Hayden Christensen trying to do something after Star Wars.
God.
But like, their limitation with the whole jumping thing is it had to be somewhere you've seen before.
Oh, so you look at a picture.
So yeah, he was doing lots of looking at a picture, or at least if I've visited you once, I can come back to you in the future, kind of thing.
See, that again would actually be an okay limitation, because I would just go like interrailing, backpacking for like, you know, spend a bit of money, and then I can go wherever I want and just look at it. Like I'd literally just cruise through these places for like a second.
Well, yeah, I think like I don't know what the limitations is not going into the logistics of it properly, but things of like, do I have to know it perfectly well? Because that's going into a whole different level of memory thing. But as long as place I can picture in my head, that's I want to go to. Like I can understand that. I almost feel there with teleportation, especially in adult life. I feel teleportation at times is a bit of a just how can I min-max working, because I want to cut out on the travelling.
Cut out the commute. Also, this is like a complete tangent. The people who answer that question with mind reading are fucking insane. Why would you want to know imagine like knowing what people are thinking about you at any point.
It's not even what people want to think about me. It's also like, I know how off on tangents my head goes, and how many not even close to the actual conversation I'm having thoughts my brain has, that like, you can read my head, but like, think of like, I am, again, at any conversation there'll be a moment of like, I'm just thinking of a random anime scene that's randomly popped into my head, kind of thing, and it's not anything to do with what you...
There is fully a right answer and a wrong answer to the question about what superpower you're going to have. If anyone ever says mind reading or, and I love animals, or talking to animals, I
just don't think you're going to have like... what
are they going to say?
You're not going to have a good conversation with your animal.
No, like, they're just going to be like, food please. My butt itches.
Like there's like, I don't want to break that wall. Another number.
58.
Cool. Then we are going for, who is your biggest celebrity crush?
Oh shit! No, I can't answer this question. I have too many, and now all their names have gone straight out of my head.
No, because like, you are someone that keeps up with, not keeps up is the wrong phrase, probably, but like, you are aware of the celebrity culture in the world, kind of thing.
Yes. Who is my celebrity crush? I've literally forgotten the name of every single celebrity in the whole entire world, and I'm going to think about this. Who do I love? I was talking about Mads Mikkelsen today. We'll go with Mads Mikkelsen.
No, I always find it amusing talking to, especially
Gillian Anderson.
No, good one. Nice.
Gillian Anderson.
Nice. No, I always find it interesting talking to poets about like celebrity crush stuff, because I think there's also a good chunk of poets I meet who don't like celebrities that much, / don't follow the pop culture things enough to have like a favourite celebrity thing, especially mainstream people. Like I think they are very much in there, and it's not in a diss at anyone, but like have a lot of indie underground things, don't follow the mainstream things, don't see the TV shows and films that like the people that they're into are
not me.
You've heard.
I'm chronically online. I also love Zendaya.
Oh yeah,
Zendaya, Gillian Anderson,
Mads Mikkelsen.
There's loads more. Who else do I love? People who Sarah Michelle Gellar.
Ooh,
good. My cancer, no, I don't know. Lots of them. There's actually so many. We would be here for ages.
Well, so on that, then we're actually on our last one of the slow fire questions. So give me one final number, please.
3.
Then we are going with favourite spoken word night.
I don't like that one. I want to do a different one. Please. I'm going to give a non-answer. I'm going to say I love them all. They're all my favourites. Well, because they all offer something different.
Mm-hmm. Like, as someone who works properly for one, runs 2, helps out at another 2 at least, and that's just starting off, let alone then going to everyone's friends and whatever. I understand not answering that question.
I'm not answering that question.
Nah.
I do genuinely think they all offer something different, though.
Well, yeah, that's the thing of like, it's favourite for which kind of thing of like, I love spit for how professional it is, etc. And I would definitely, like, the badly phrased this, the man on the street I would invite to spit more quickly than invite them to process, etc. But process is a whole different vibe, and there's a more community thing, different community aspect. Not that the others can't do it, but I love process and how they do a community. I love One Night Slam for the fun competitiveness of the slam, etc. Like, you're all covering different things.
This is what I mean, like, you genuinely can't pick.
Then we'll do one proper final number then.
66.
Then we are going with pick one: sex, drugs, or rock and roll.
Rock and roll, baby.
Nice. Are you much of a music gig person?
Yes, absolutely. I love to dance. I love to feel like I feel most alive, like on the dance floor. I think it is so freeing, and I think going to gigs is just having that shared experience with something that you love, and just letting the music like flow through you. I just love it. I love gigs so much. I actually only really started loving them. I wasn't going to too many, and then COVID happened.
Yeah.
And then I was thinking about all the gigs I didn't go to. And then I was like, right, fuck. And then kind of when lockdown started ending, I was like, right, I'm gonna go to as many gigs as I can. I've been to like day festivals, and now I'm starting to go to festivals, which is amazing. Going out dancing is one of my favorite things to do of all time. It's just so freeing. It's like a surrender, and it's just always wear ear protection.
Yeah.
If you can. It's very important. You don't want to get tinnitus. But I'm so much fun, I promise. I'm so much fun. It's one of my favorite things to do. I think it's cathartic. It's dancing, going to gigs, listening to live music. It's cathartic, it's emotional, it's connection. It's like music. If I could be anything, I would love to have been a musician in like another life. I think that's the best job in the world.
I will say, like, when going back to the last one of like, whilst I don't necessarily have a favorite night, I am loving every time I do a spit one that has like the musicians, so the Poets Russian Musicians
That's
Night.
so good.
I just always love it because like I've not been in the music world properly, so like even just with the jazz bands that Spit have, that's always great. And then you add the musicians, just like I'm good. I'm just good listening to this. Like this is just fun to experience and be a part of. And
it's amazing. It's like one of the most purest forms of joy for me is like gigging, dancing, like just being completely free. I'm getting right. We're going dancing. Come on. Well, we're gonna go to a gig.
Well, on that note, we are finishing the podcast now. So,
that gone that quick?
Yes. That's
wow.
it. Well, thank you so much for coming down to it.
Yeah, thank you so much.
You have a camera here. If you want to promote yourself, say anything, by all means, plug things.
Plug things.
I don't know when this is coming out, so I don't know which dates you can plug. But nevertheless, plug yourself and just general things you're doing.
I will just, I guess, thanks for supporting me. Thanks to all my followers. No, I would say you can find me.
Name them individually.
Right. So, Tyrone Lewis. No, I guess, just, I don't know when this is coming out. But I guess it's a whole watch this space, see what I do next, which sounds very egotistical. But if you've made it this far, you clearly like the sound of my voice and what I have to say, I hope, or you're about to cancel me. Please don't do that. Follow me on Instagram. I'll post more on Substack, maybe, hopefully, who knows. And thanks for listening.
Nice. This has been the Process Podcast. Obviously, do all the liking, sharing, all the social things for Process and for Maxine and all the things we're doing here. And as I like to end every single fucking thing I do, we love you all. Now fuck off. Goodbye.
Bye.